Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Burrito. We're back here on Bespin. I think today we'll be finishing the Rebel at Bespin story as we're already on Act 4 and have already started it. We still got a couple quests here that we're going to have to knock out, which 3 of these are going to be taking us into the mining and or industrial sector. So I think what we'll do is we will head over to the mining sector first, take care of those 2 in there, and then we'll head over to the industrial sector and see what's going on that side. All right, so down here we have to do a first thing, a couple of things. Let's take care of our friends, the Black Sun, first, though, as we know that we are very close friends with those individuals, and they have been missing me very much. That is not a door I can go in. I went into the wrong area for that. Shit. All right, well, we're we're gonna do the yeah. I got the industrial mining sectors switched up on me. So I guess, never mind, we're gonna go ahead and my 017. Listen, it's been like almost a week since I did this, so cut me some slack. Because I went the like cardinal direction, or I went like my instinct for like to go towards the Black Sun, and then I was like, wait a second, why is this door not open? And then I opened the map, I'm like, oh, they're in the industrial sector, not the mining. Oopsie. So we're here because we have to head to mine 017. We're looking for Io, who's an individual who Talon Cardari wants, for some reason, she took something. I don't remember the full plot. Behind me, I think these are the things that I'm supposed to, yeah. I know. I'm gonna kill all the Ugnaughts. I'm sorry, Uggos. I don't mean that as in there you're ugly, just... Anyways, we find Io. With the droids no longer a concern, you take the time to look around Mine 017 in the hopes of finding a clue of Io's current location. If Io reprogrammed the security droids that ambushed you, there may be some clue in the droid's computer logs that will help you track her down. Perhaps a signal trace indicating where the signal sent Io to reprogram the droids originated from. Or maybe a DNA fragment left on the droids to scan for if she reprogrammed them in person. With a plan in mind, you pick up one of the droid's chassis, head to the abandoned industrial sector, and use the equipment in the droid maintenance center to analyze. Well, I have to go back to the industrial sector anyways. So I guess it was a gift to come to the mining sector first, because now I have to go back to the industrial regardless. Which, yep, all these are in the industrial sector. All right, so I unintentionally did what is probably the more efficient thing to do, so good job, me. Sometimes you stumble into success. Okay, so we're in the industrial sector. We've got an update here for one of our quests, but we're going to go deal with the Black Sun first, as they're a little bit more out of the way than the other 2. So let's just head up this way. And let's pick out those Black Sun smugglers. And destroy their weapon caches. So here's the first one. Gives you a good example of what you're looking for. And then there's some guy standing over here. Hi, how you doing? They are easier to fight than the Black Sun outside. They're not elites, so they go down a little bit easier. I did, you know, pull some Minox, but hey, the price to pay for efficiency. Wow. When you miss decapitation, feels bad, man. So even though I have to only fight Black Sun down here, these caches are spread throughout this whole area, which is infested with Womp Rats and Minox. So I'm just going to beat them up as I go. Otherwise, we're going to get a situation where I have, like, 15 enemies hitting me at once, which I may or may not be able to take. Depending on my luck. Let's look on this side. Yeah, I got 2 more over here. So we need 1 more weapons cache, which looks like it's over there behind this group of smugglers that I am now going to take out. We only got 2 data pads from that first group, by the way. So unfortunately, I'm looking for a chance drop here. Hopefully we get a little bit better luck. I'm still going to have to find some more smugglers in here, wait for them to come back. I guess this is a good reason to do this one first, because it looks like there's only 2 groups of Black Sun smugglers in this room. And we didn't get all the data pads we needed from them. So I think what we're going to do is go do the other missions and then come back and check out this spawn that was over here near the door. That's probably the best use of my time. So let's do that. Let's go take on the droid diagnostic bay. Oh yeah, I should probably run my officer buffs. I was like, why do I only have Pistol Drum Master on? Oh yeah, and I run my officer buffs. Alright, so here we are in the diagnostic bay. So let's see if we can analyze these chassis, figure out where IO is. So as we enter this area, it says you connect the droid's chassis to the diagnostic terminal and power it on. After its analysis is complete, you sift through the diagnostic logs and search for anything out of the ordinary. You pull up a droid's logs and note that the communications packet that contained the virus is uploaded to the droid's mainframe through a direct connection established via a control terminal in the mining sector. Perhaps that's where IO is hiding. With the location of the control terminal in mind, and you log off the terminal, discard the droid's chassis and head off to return to the mining sector. So we ran over here, just have to go back to the mining sector, but I knew that we were going to have to go back there anyways, so that's okay. But let's go speak while we're down here to Sergeant Kamar. Because Irani Cordon is actually a rebel sympathizer, but we can't tell her that we're working for the rebellion. So we're going to go speak with the sergeant discreetly to see if we can't do anything to help her out with her issue, which I already forgot what it was. It's been a bit. Speaking with the sergeant, though, they say, good to see you again. It's been a while. Good to see you too, Kamar. So it brings you back to the base. I'm guessing you're not here for tea and biscuits. Actually, that's exactly why I'm here. Then what can I do for you? I need your help with protecting one of the rebellion's allies. Really? That's not what I expected you to say at all. What did you expect me to say? Give me a rundown of the situation. We'll go from there. So I tell them about Irani's predicament. You spend several minutes explaining to Kamar your plan to meet Lando Calrissian and how you're helping each of his allies in the hopes of them arranging a meeting with him. After explaining how Irani Cordair's father suspects her of supplying the rebellion, Kamar nods. I've heard rumors that Irani was one of our suppliers. I guess they're true. We need to do what we can to keep Irani safe. Agreed. If she's helping the rebellion, we owe it to her to help her in return. The trouble is, how do we help Irani without exposing our presence here to the Empire? I'm not sure. I was hoping you'd have a plan. Well, our first order of business has to be proving to Irani that we're part of the rebellion and that she can trust us. Our best chance of doing that is by contacting her in the communications frequently Alliance High Command uses to communicate with its agents. Sounds simple enough. What's the frequency? Unfortunately, I don't know. That makes sense. You're not High Command, huh? That frequency is one of the Alliance top secrets. If the Empire discovered it, they could use it to expose all of our agents. So naturally, High Command doesn't go around giving out the frequency to lowly sergeants like myself. So we need to find someone who knows the frequency. Exactly, and I think I have a lead. Give me a minute to check the ship's records. Spends a couple minutes checking the various files in his database. Yep, just as I thought. Care to explain? According to the Alliance records, the rebellion has ties to a Fro Filter. A Row Filter? A mighty company that operates here in Bespin. A Row Filter is sympathetic to our cause. They sell Tabana gas to us at severely discounted prices. It stands to reason that a Row Filter's rebel contact would know the frequency. They have to, in order to contact the Alliance and arrange the delivery of Tabana gas shipments. Do we know who our contact in a Row Filter is? Yes, a man named Wilro Hood. Admiral Hood? Halo 2? Anyways, he oversees the company's dealings with the rebellion. If we can persuade him to tell us the frequency, we'll be in business. Any idea where Hood is? No, but considering how he works for a Row Filter, the best place to start looking for him would be the company's offices in the Trader Guild Hall. When you find Hood, use the code word Tempest to identify yourself as a representative of the rebellion. Sounds like a plan. I'll track down Hood. I'll stay in touch via comlink. Good luck. Okay. So we're going to have to go back to the Trader Guild Hall, but we'll do that a little later. As we want to go back to the Black Sun's hangar and see if any more of those smugglers respawn and we can't get a last data pads that we need. W. Willow Hood mention. Wilro Hood mentioned. Yeah? You a Wilro Hood fan, Sex Mug? Do you stan Wilro Hood? Wilro Hood appeared in the non-canon 2020 video game LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. He's also the Ice Cream Man that you see running during Episode 5. The most important character, truly iconic. Yeah, I didn't know who that was. I didn't know that was a canon character. So thank you, Sex Mike. I would not win at trivia nights, regardless of the topic, unless I wrote the trivia. Oh, okay, I got the dad pad I need. Yo, guys, I'm already done here, but if you keep picking fights, I'm gonna finish them. Okay, well, we've got the data pad we needed from the Black Sun, so let's go head over to the mining sector to continue tracking down Io. Okay. Oh yeah, we get contact by Io. Persistent are you? Maybe this surprise I've arranged for you will make you change your mind. Hey, if you're trying to ambush somebody to kill them, don't alert them. And I guess loading in kind of screws with the ambush, because they didn't attack me immediately. Also, if hacking 5 security droids to jump me didn't get me, I don't know why you think 2 would. But anyways, I'm gonna come kick your ass now. All right, so here we are at the terminal that Io was using to try and kill us, like a dumbass. There they are, like a dumbass. They didn't say anything when appearing, by the way. They just jumped us. And they didn't say anything when we killed them. A little suspicious. Oh yeah, you guys want to go see a movie location? Oh wow, we got a debuff from her called Weekend. To reduce our damage output and armor by... Well, the damage output is by 25%. I don't know about the armor. Can I... Nope, can't purge it. Wow. Panoramic Vista 9. Wow. Hey, guys. This is that part where that guy got his arm cut off. What was his name again? Everyone knows. There's that famous scene from Lego Star Wars. Anyone get vertigo looking down? Jerry, you're right. Damn it, Jerry. I think his name was Mark Hamill. You guys think there's a mini kit back here? Probably not. It's a cool area. I don't think anything brings you out here other than the collection, though, so... I guess they have to keep it clear for when Luke does get his arm cut off. You never know when that plot's gonna happen. Oh, hey, there's a Creative Rebel Specialist armor pieces. Let's grab that before we run all the way back. Anything else cool in here? Oh yeah, here's the window. Or if they can tie it to some Jedi or cybernetic quest. Honestly, if they were able to like tie that location to a cybernetic quest, like to get us like a cybernetic forearm, that would be hilarious. It can't be Anakin's cybernetic forearm because you can already get that from the legacy quest tied to the droid factory on Corellia. So they'd have to make a new one. Or reskin the Anakin one. That'd be really funny. That'd be really tongue-in-cheek. I would like that, actually. The Jedi quest, yeah, it'd be also fine, but technically, since that event hasn't happened canonically yet in the game, it wouldn't really... It technically wouldn't make sense, but whatever. I just think the cybernetic one's funnier. Alright, so here we are at the Bespin Tabana Trader Guild Hall. We've been here before, but just in case, if anyone needs a reminder, you have this waypoint taking you to the quest objective, but you could always click points of interest on the world map, and that'll show you where Tabana Prime Trader Guild Hall is. But we're here looking for Ice Cream Man. It says he's towards the back. He might be upstairs. I'm going to check this bottom floor first. Okay, let's go check the second floor. I don't know why I skipped the elevator. Is he in here? It'd be weird if he was in here. Yeah, he's all the way upstairs. That makes more sense. The reason it would be weird in there is because in there is just a bunch of crafting stations for the Tabana gas grind that traders can do. All right, so we're all the way up on the 3rd floor. And yep, there's the RO filter, and here's the RO filter receptionist. I guess I need to speak to her. Hello and welcome to RO Filter, your go-to organization for Tabana gas mining and refining. How can I help you today? I was hoping to speak with Wilro Hood. Ah, I see. Do you have an appointment? Lie. I can only lie. So if you're trying to play a character who tries not to lie, you're not allowed. No, but Wilro and I are old friends. I was hoping to surprise him by visiting. Yes, my personal assistant organized it weeks ago. I'm just going to say, do I look like I have a personal assistant? I'm just going to go with the first one. Oh, I see. Might I inquire as how you know Lord Hood? We're childhood friends. We're business associates from before his time at RO Filter. I'm his father's brother's cousin's nephew's former roommate. A Spaceball reference. You got to pick that one, right? She says, oh, you certainly have a unique connection. You'd be surprised how close we are. I see. Very well. Who am I to judge the bonds of friendship? Thanks for not being judgmental. Mr. Hood's office is just down that corridor. If there's anything else that I or RO Filter can do to assist you, please don't hesitate to let me know. I will. Thank you for your help. May the Schwartz be with you. What hallway? Am I stupid? Alright, here was Wilro Hood. He does not have an ice cream machine in his office unless it's hidden somewhere. Let's look for the ice cream really fast. It's very important to the plot. Where are you hiding it, old man? Feels like a missed opportunity not to shove a Cam 2 somewhere in here. Either way. I take it you're my next client. Well, hello, and welcome to RO Filter. Thanks, but I'm not a client. I'm here with the Rebellion Covert Tempest. Don't fucking say it like that out loud. Whatever. I'm the worst Rebel agent. And it's not even my choice to be this bad. Wilro gasps in surprise. Oh, well, that's not what I was expecting at all. Why are you here? Yes, one of the Alliance's other contacts on the Cloud City is at risk. We need an extractor. That's TMI. The Rebellion was nearly destroyed in the Battle of Hoth. A handful of survivors are hiding here in Cloud City, down on the lower levels. I'm here on their behalf. Also TMI. I'm going to go with the first one. That seems less TMI. In that case, I'd recommend contacting her on Command's frequency and arranging a rendezvous. Well, I don't know the frequency myself. It's stored on an encrypted databank hidden in RO Filter's main computer. Why the fuck would you store that in your company's computer? Isn't that highly incriminating for your company? Should, like, the Empire ever decide to audit your company record? Whatever. I can give you the description algorithm and you can access the computer and download the frequency. Thank you. Anytime. I just hope you're able to save the Alliance's contact. Sure, shooter. So do I. Well, so do I. If you need anything else, I'll be happy to help you however I can. Good luck. Let's take a good look at Ice Cream Man before we leave. There he is. Does look pretty close to his film counterpart. All right. I gotta go. Why is it telling me to use the electrical? Oh, I have to deactivate the security cameras. Okay. I get the idea of hiding in plain sight, but this still seems a little reckless. You pry open the electrical junction in front of everybody in the fucking lobby and cut through the wires that power the holocrons, or holocams. With the cameras deactivated, head to the filter's office computer room and access the computer. Here's the computer that we saw earlier. Let's access it. Alright, we have activated the after some minutes of careful searching, you managed to find and access the database containing the Alliance's communication frequency. Having now decoded the frequency, you should return to Sergeant Kamar and formulate it. Plan how best to utilize it. Glad the receptionist didn't say anything. Actually, does she say anything? Nope, she just says, let me know if you need anything. Good luck with your, seditious actions. Alright, All right, we'll go back to the sergeant since we're kind of close to the sector entrance. So, all right, we're back with Sergeant Kamar. You're back with the frequency, I hope. I've got it right here. Excellent. The next step is to use one of the city's public communications terminals to contact Irani Corden and arrange a rendezvous. Using the Alliance frequency will assure her that you can be trusted, and using one of the Cloud City's communication terminals instead of your personal comlink will ensure that no one can trace the signal back to you. Like using a public payphone for anyone who remembers what that is. Got it. After I rendezvous with Corden, what next? You'll need to escort Irani here, safe and sound. The industrial sector isn't exactly a safe place. She'll need protection. Once she's here, I'll meet with her personally, and we'll figure out a way to get her safely off-world without her father dying. All right, I'll contact Irani and bring her here right away. Stay safe, and we got 350,000 credits. Man, we're getting even more credits than what we got when we were in the Wingard HQ. Granted, we were getting one for entering every level and completing main objectives, so we were getting them more frequently, but I don't think we were getting this many. I activated my layer crystal in accident. Oopsie doops. Well, you never know when you're going to get attacked in the industrial sector, question mark? Okay, so the communication terminal's on the east side of the city, which that's okay, because we got to go to the club cantina and talk to somebody there anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the starship terminal over here and just go to the other starport on the other side. All right, we're at the Cloud City Communications Terminal, so let's use this for our nefarious rebel goals. It says you power on the terminal and contact Irani Corden using the frequency the Rebel Alliance uses to contact its agents. After several minutes of waiting, Irani answers. This is Corden. Thank the Force you're calling me, Fulcrum. Ah, hey! It's a reference to Ahsoka's handle from Star Wars Rebels, and I think they said it in the Ahsoka series. I mostly remember it from Rebels. Either way, I'm in danger of being exposed as one of your suppliers, and I need help immediately. We're aware of the situation, Irani, and we're already organizing your extraction. Please hurry. I don't know how long we have until my father sends someone to bring me to him. I already have a close call earlier with a stranger who I thought was sent to do just that. Stay calm, Irani. She's referring to us, by the way. Stay calm, Irani. The plan is already in motion. That's the best news I've heard all year. Tell me what you need from me, and I'll get on it right away. We need you to rendezvous with one of our operatives at the coordinates I'm transmitting to you now. You have an operative here in Cloud City? A whole team of Alliance personnel, actually. This is TMI, but okay. The operative you're rendezvousing with will escort you to a meeting with them. Understood. I'll head to the rendezvous point as soon as I can slip away without being noticed. Thank you again, Fulcrum. Corden out. And then she disconnects the call. After she does so, you wipe the communication terminal's records and power it down. And then the message that we got that appears that says, now that you've arranged a rendezvous with Irani, you should head to the rendezvous point in the abandoned industrial sector and wait for her there. We'll go back there, but after we go to the Legends Club Cantina and speak with somebody there. I think this is the person we had to, like... I think it's part of, like, impressing through combat or something. Were they on the bottom floor? Wait, who am I looking for? Is it supposed to update when I get here? Do I have to go through a different door? I think so. I think I have to go to the waypoint. Yeah, there we go. Search the cantina for the trader. Records indicate his name is Temin Okano. See if you can find them. Oh, hey. Hey, stranger, pull up a chair. I'll buy you a drink. I never turned down a free drink. Thanks, stranger. No problem. I'm in a generous mood. He motions to the bartender to serve you a drink. It'll arrive shortly. And call me Temin. What's got you in such a good mood, Temin? Change in circumstances, my friend. A brilliant change in circumstances. For once, things are looking up for me. Congratulations. So what happened? How'd your luck change? To keep a long story short, I managed to stick it to my boss and make a tidy profit while doing it too. Oh yeah, this was the guy who was on the freighter. He was like the first captain, first mate, and he was getting upset with the company that he was working for. That's right. Well, that's the dream, isn't it? You're damn right. He takes a sip of his drink. I just wish I'd been able to see the lock on his face when he learned what I did. Sounds like it would have been a sight to behold. You're telling me he kept that secret for years, and I... He stops mid-sentence, clears his throat, and takes another sip of his drink. Ah, well, I will just have to live with imagining his expression as long as I spend my newfound fortune. Okay. If you need help spending that newfound fortune, I'd be happy to help. He laughs heartily. I like you. You've got spirit, but I've already made the list of things I want to buy. Once the credits are here in my account, I'm leaving this dump and never coming back. Wow, calling Cloud City a dump is kind of nice. But, you're not enjoying your time in Cloud City? Not in the slightest. I never wanted to come here. Wouldn't have if I had any say in the matter. But no, the boss said we had to come here, and the captain would never think of ignoring an order from the brass. He scoffs at and takes another drink. Thank the Emperor, I'm finished with those nerf herders. Not nerd herders this time, nerf herders. So good. Fair enough. I've got to get going. Thanks for the drink. Yeah, no problem. Come back at any time. I'll bring another one. Take care. Catch ya. Then we get Okano. I think it's safe to assume that Okano is the traitor we're looking for. Head back to Baobab and tell him you found the turncoat. He'll decide how to proceed. We're going to go escort somebody before we go to Baobab, though. So let's go back to the industrial sector. You have to make your... I guess I have to meet her near the elevator inside the sector. It just updated right when I got here, so I was like, wait a second. Okay, yeah, it is inside the sector. That makes sense. I was just like, hold on. I don't remember actually fighting anything during this, but I'll buff up just in case. There she is. Hello, are you here to help me? Wait a minute, it's you. You're the stranger who I spoke to earlier back at the meeting room. You're the Rebel Alliance operative? Yep, obviously I can say as much in public, but I'm here to help. Not that you'd have any reason to believe me anyways. Thank you. I was told you'd escort me to a meeting with some Alliance personnel. We don't have long until someone notices I've left the meeting. I'll wait here until you've cleared the way to base. Our base of operations is this way. Follow me to the area secured. We will meet there. You got it. Kill creatures in the industrial sector. I have to kill 10 Minox and 10 sewer womp rats. We're going to kill the ones that aren't on the way because, yeah. That's easier. There's more that spawn in this direction than the other direction. In terms of womp rats. So let's go in here. Start with the rats. Hello, big gross rats. Come on. Come all at once. Makes it easier on me. Yeah, of course. I purge and feeble and I immediately get other ones thrown on me. I don't know what I expected. There we go. This is an inspired action. Been having bad luck on that with this encounter. Alright, so we got all of our womp rats, which all I did was go north up into this elevator room area. Because there's not really very many womp rats south of the main elevator. You could go into the room with the black sun, but man, whatever. So now, next, let's focus on just slaying some Minox. I'm going to go back into this room that we've gone in a few times in Aircraft Terminals. I don't know, slay the Minox in here. As long as you're slaying them within the industrial sector, I think anywhere counts, so... Oh my goodness. It's always, like, they're all almost dead, so every time I click on one to throw AoEs, these die immediately. Alright, cool. Okay, so now we have to head to the Rebel Operatives base as we defeated all of the creatures that were threats, question mark, to Ronnie. Alright, we're back here in the Rebel base, so let's talk to the Sergeant, which it looks like Ronnie came here. There's a Womp Rat attack. Ah, you guys just got Womp Rats coming out the wazoo. There's one more somewhere. Did it spawn below me? Yeah. I'm coming to get you. Where'd you go? Alright, got it. Speak with Irani. Thank you for securing my way to the base here. I don't think I would have made it without your help. I don't know what you're carrying, lady, but you're just attracting rats like the plague. So, take a bath or something while you're here. I don't know. I say, you're welcome. How did your meeting with Sergeant Kamar go? It went well. Kamar has agreed to get me off-world and keep me safe from my father. Okay. She just decided to despawn. Can I get her to respawn if I do this? There we go. It went well. Kamar has agreed to get me off-world and keep me safe from my father, though he did mention that would have to wait until after the transport has been repaired and your operation here on Bespin is over. That means I'll be stuck here a little while longer. What will you do in the meantime? Part cheesy. I'll head back to the meeting in Trust Casino so that way it doesn't break your immersion of you seeing me there. I can't stay here in case someone notices I'm missing, comes looking for me, and finds you guys hiding out down here. There's not much else I can do. Plus, Kamar has assigned a handful of soldiers to serve as protection detail in case any of my father's men show up, so I should be safe. I hope so. Do you need escort back to the meeting? No, Kamar's men will handle that, but thank you for offering. You and Kamar have been tremendous help, and you've most likely saved my life. I have a few more things to discuss with Sergeant, but I'll see you back at the Trust Casino meeting room when I'm done here. All right, see you later, Ronnie. I literally was right over about to click it. Goodbye for now. Okay. We gotta return to Jacoby Breen. Yeah, I think everything now is back at Trust Casino. Yes. Okay, well, let's go back to the casino. All right, let's see if I can remember how to get all the way up there. I think I do. So we first need to enter the tower. Use this elevator to go up as far as I can. Then I have to exit the elevator. Oh yeah, we got Drea's on this floor. That's right. She's not on the top floor. So we have to come in here and talk to her. She's the pirate who's about to get mutinied. She's the one who had us fight in Black Sun. She says, well, hello again, sweetness. And again, I'm not doing a voice for her. I heard about what you did to the Black Suns. These has got to be fuming. And on top of that, my crew is starting to second-guess themselves. Some of them are thinking that maybe I'm really not dealing with the Black Sun. Glad I could help. Does that mean this mutiny is over? Not quite. Some of my crew are thinking that maybe they've got the wrong idea. And those that are thinking that aren't entirely convinced. At least not yet. You're gonna help me change that fact. Alright, what do you need? Kren, Rick, and Xiaomin are hanging out near the spaceport near their respective ships. Head there and talk to them. Stay safe. Okay, well, we're not done helping her yet, but let's go speak with everybody else while we're here. So to get up there, I'm going to need to use this elevator to go up. And then I got to run out and around, and then use this elevator to go up. And now we're there. Let's speak to Talon, who says, welcome back. My people have confirmed that you found an eliminated IO. DNA fragments taken from her corpse. Matches in file. Well done. Thank you. You were right about IO being crafty. Here you go. Hand him the implant. Kadar says the implant takes the implant and takes out his datapad. He connects it to the two via a small cable and goes to initiate a download. Suddenly he frowns. This can't be right. This implant is a fake. There's nothing on it. It's blank. I guess we'll get more information about IO. Did IO wipe it clean? No, there's nothing to indicate data erasure at any time, either recently or long ago. This implant is empty and has been ever since its installation years ago. Quite a mystery. How is this possible? I don't know, unless... He trails off and thinks intently for several moments, and then his eyes widen and he consults his datapad a second time. If she managed to pull this off, I'll be impressed. It's a genius even by her standards. Pulled off what? What's going on? Just a moment. Let me confirm my suspicions. After several more minutes of typing on his datapad, Kadar shakes his head in incredulity. Incredulity. Whatever. Just as I thought, Io isn't dead. The woman you killed was a clone. Whoa, what? How can you be sure? Kadar shows you his datapad's display. On it is a depiction of the DNA helix. I didn't know you were a engineer, dude. He points to several strange nodules attached to the strands of the helix. See these nodes? They're not naturally occurring. Their tags bioengineered tags implanted into a clone's genetic structure as a way of identifying the clone's creators. Kaz is furrowing her brow at me and staring at me. She majored in biology. Yeah, don't worry about it. Why would anyone do such a thing? Before Emperor Palpatine imposed strict restrictions on cloning, it was a competitive industry. There were countless organizations, corporations, and societies that engaged in cloning, all of them competing with one another, and using various different technologies and techniques. Genetic tags serve as a way to identify and protect a cloner's unique technologies and methodologies, a bioengineered patent, if you will. Uh-huh. And you just tag that onto the DNA? You know, like, having, like, one extra chromosome is a huge wrench, right? Like, in your genetic structure. Whatever. Anyways, so who created this clone? Sparty Creations. They specialized in rapidly grown clones. One of their clones matures in only a year, as opposed to the usual 10 to 12. But considering the only known Sparty cloning cylinders were destroyed in the Clone Wars during the Battle of Kartau. Oh, hold on. Battle of Kartau. Attack on Kartau. Yeah? The Republic won? I don't recognize any of these names. Where did this appear? Appearances. The Cestus Deception, as an indirect mention. Hero of Kartau from Star Wars Insider 68 through 70, which was his first appearance. Star Wars Insider was a magazine. And then it was in the Order 66, a Republic Commando novel, which it was only mentioned there. Okay, interesting. Sparty cloning cylinders were destroyed in the battle in the Clone Wars during the Battle of Kartau. How Io managed to create a genuine Sparty clone is a mystery. What about the clone's implant? It is a fully functional cranial implant of the same make and model that Io herself wears. The only difference is that, apart from the software necessary to run the implant itself, this implant has never had anything stored on it. The clone and the implant are both decoys designed to fool Io's enemies. Thankfully, you weren't fooled. Indeed, one of the benefits of running on intergalactic information network is that you have access to information on a wide variety of topics. You may be surprised at the things I know. Oh yeah? Let's have a trivia night. What's your social security number? Let's start there. Maybe, but what's about Io? How do we find her? Thankfully, now that we have a DNA sample taken from Io's clone, we have a DNA signature with which we can scan for her. With any luck, a scan of the city will detect the real Io's DNA signature and will pinpoint her location. Good plan. How do we scan the city? Again, Kaz is staring at me. There's a sensor dish on the top of the cantina, if I recall. I believe the building used to be a command center once many decades ago before it was repurposed. There's probably some deep lore cuts going on here that I have no idea about. It's unlikely the cantina's proprietor would have rendered a sensor dish malfunctional. Perhaps you can persuade him to let you use it to scan the city. Got it. I'll go speak with him for now. I'll await your return. Okay. As a polite reminder, Star Wars is science fantasy, not science fiction. All right, let's talk to Mungo Baobab. We found the traitor in his midst. Have you managed to discover they identify the traitor? We think so. Temin Okano, former first officer of one of your cargo vessels. And in your opinion, how should we deal with him? Have Mr. Calrissian arrest him and put him on trial? Have him killed. He'll serve as an example to your enemies. Do nothing. So we could do nothing. Vigilante justice. Or have Lando arrest him? As an honorary Night Sister clan member, Vum says kill him. How brutal, but I suppose in situations like this, we must sometimes resort to unsavory methods. Oh, shit, I hate it. Stop conversing. Kill him. Shit, I did it again. I'm subconsciously hesitating. Exactly. Yeah. Very well, I'll have my people deal with Akano as you suggest, but even though you managed to find Akano, the fact remains that my rivals now know my greatest secret. Whether or not I'll be able to recover from this crisis, who can say? I'll just hope that my people are as successful at handling the situation as you are finding a traitor. I hope so too. Good luck with the murder. I mean, they're not going to be as good as killing as I am, but, you know, good luck to them. He says, regardless of how the situation turns out, thank you for your help. I owe you a debt of gratitude and will do what I can to repay you. Thanks. Now, if you excuse me, I should continue coordinating my response to this crisis. I still have much work to do. You're right. Gonna need to buy a body bag. Let's talk to Illyria. You didn't die, and you put on a hell of a show, too. Good on you, kiddo. You certainly know how to handle yourself. Then have I proven that I'm tough enough to help you? Put simply, you can go out and kill every last Barv who's coming after me. Is that a typo or is that a word? Oh, that's a thing. A Barv was a small six-legged animal raised for its meat. It's a Star Wars thing. It gets mentioned a lot, but it doesn't really appear anywhere, apparently, according to Wikipedia. According to a friend of mine, the Hutts, the droid Gotra, and the Exchange, Lady Valerian, Black Sun, the Zan Consortium, the Meat Lumps, and even the Gina Hardan have sent people to kill me. I know, like, most of those. I don't think I know Droid Gotra, but whatever. Lots of nasty characters. And you want me to go kill them before they kill you? Yep. I mean, that's easy. Here are the coordinates where you can find the cartel's people are hiding out. Head to each location and kill everyone you find. Got it. Oh, and bring me a trophy from each of the groups you kill. A blaster, an insignia, a finger, a head, another finger, a tongue, a nose, some ears, their social security number. I'm just going to send whoever, whatever you take back to the cartels as a message to them. They need to know that anyone they send after me dies painfully. That's brutal, says the person who just said murder that guy, but whatever. 390K. I'm the queen of the underworld. I have the reputation to hold. And then she calls me. Wait, why did... Help me get the cartels. Why did I get called as she's talking to me in front of me? What the fuck? Whatever. Okay, I think I still have to talk to Jacoby. He gave me 360K and 340K. Thanks for helping out Lando's allies. We got Rebel prototype, helmet, and belt. Wow. Check out that shit. Spin. As for the belt. Wow. Spin. Okay. I think that turned in both the quests that we had to get to him, which is kind of handy. Yep, we got to go to the spaceport, murder, and go to the club. We're already in the club. But we gotta go downstairs and hit the waypoint first, I think. Let's go do that. Alright, here's the club. Let's talk to the bartender. Hey there, what can I do for you? I was hoping that I could use the old sensor dish on top of the cantina. Would you mind? Not what I was expecting. No one's asked about that old thing for years. What's brought this on? Why do you need to use it? We're tracking a criminal and need to scan for her DNA signature. Oh, I see. In that case, go right ahead. You don't have to show me identification. I'll just take your word on it. Sword-wielding Bothan lady that ran in my establishment. The control terminal for the sensor dish is up on the top floor. You may need to fiddle with the settings or the wiring to get it working. The system hasn't been used in years. Okay, thanks. Anytime. All right, let's go up to the roof. Hopefully I can get up there from here. I have to go do some random elevator chain, I swear. Oh, wait, it's right here. You power on the terminal. It groans into life. After a few moments, the terminal screen flickers on before immediately blinking out. Clearly, the terminal is in poor condition. You'll need to motivate it into working. It's not a... whatever. Turn it off and on again. Surely a why am I screaming? Surely a calm and logical approach is best here. You power down the terminal, wait a number of seconds, and then power it back on. You sit through the abnormally long rebooting process. The speed at which the loading bar progresses is annoyingly slow. Thankfully, once the terminal has been fully reactivated, its screen is lit up and working. I'm a genius. With the terminal now functioning, you input IO's DNA signature, access the sensor's dish control program, and configure it for an active scan. Unfortunately, like the control terminal, the sensor dish is old and can only scan one portion of the city at a time. You'll need to scan each part of the city individually until you find IO. What? Does it scan in a cone? So can I like point in one direction and scan at a time? Is that what's going? It's not like a range. Whatever. Nothing's ever easy. Scan pre awaiting input command. Scan the abandoned industrial sector. It takes you a few minutes to analyze the results. Once the scan does complete, but eventually you're able to determine that IO is not in the industrial sector. Not in the mining sector. I'm not going to read all these things. It's just mostly saying that it's doing the thing, and then you... Yeah, it's not... Wingard. Nope. Industrial spaceport. You scan the industrial spaceport within seconds. The scan reports a positive match. IO's DNA signature has been detected. You narrow down the scan's focus in the hopes of pinning down an exact location and eventually discover the signature has been detected from within a large metal shipping crate. IO must be trying to smuggle herself off of Cloud City on an outbound transport. We're going to power it down and go to there. You power it down and step away from the terminal. Cool. We don't have to do anything else here right now, yeah. We got a lot of places. I guess those are mostly the people we have to go kill, huh? I'm trying to think which way I want to approach this. We got a pretty rich density over here. Let's just go clockwise around the map, I guess. I don't really think there's going to be like a fast way for me to A to B this due to the ITV restrictions on this planet. So we'll just go clockwise, following the roads. All right, so here we have to go defeat the Meat Lump Cartel's goons, I suppose. Oh, there they go. Meat Lump. One of the Meat Lumps was carrying a handful of petrified Meat Lumps. The Meat Lumps themselves may not be the brightest bunch, but even the Meat Lump King will understand the message Illyria intends to send upon returning the lumps to him. Okay. Still cracks me that the Meat Lumps are involved in this, but whatever. Guess we'll go deal with Juno Haraden Cartel. Here they be. Assassin droids. Wow. Juno Harden. Having dismantled the Juno Harden assassin droids, you recover one of their chassis emblazoned with the Juno Harden's logo on it for Illyria to send back to the cartel as a warning against future aggression. Alright, next is the Black Sun Cartel. We also gotta look for IO while we're here at the spaceport. Which that update says, these shipping containers sit near the spaceport waiting for her to be loaded onto the transport. Search each of them and find which one she's hiding in. We'll do that. But let's take out these thugs, which they'll be a little bit spicier than some of the other NPCs we fought. I was trying not to use shields. That got a little close, though. You pick up one of the Black Sun Operative's iconic helmet. With any luck, they will understand the warning Illyria intends to deliver upon returning it to them. Okay, let's go find these shipping containers to look for IO. Search 3 shipping containers. Surely I don't click the tiny ones, right? What? Why are they so small? She can't fit in that box. You have searched all the containers, but didn't find F. Didn't find anything. Return to Talon with your next steps. Okay, well, we gave up fast. We had a lot of other places we could have scanned, but whatever. Alright, let's go to defeat the Valerian cartel, I suppose. Valerian, you recover Valerian insignia from the corpse of one of Lady Valerian's goons. Illyria will send it back to Lady Valerian as a warning against any further assassination attempts. Okay. I think it might be faster, actually, for me to travel back to the spaceport via the terminal and then go north from there. I mean, I could also just go north and like use an ITV pad to get the spaceport, but we'll just travel. I'm sure the differences in time is inconsequential. All right, here we are with the 3. Why am I talking to these people again? Who was that for? Drea? Oh, right, her pirate companions. I've got to convince them of to not mutiny. This guy sighs as we approach. He says, I knew Drea wouldn't have the guts to come here herself, but I thought I'd at least be meeting with her first mate, second officer, at least. Not somebody like you. Well, like it or not, I'm Drea's chosen to meet with you. I guess that's just the way the flat cake crumbles. All right, kid, if she sent you to persuade me to go back in line, have at it. Doubt you'll manage it, but give it a go. Give me a good reason why I should join back up with her. Drea isn't working the Black Sun. She's been framed. If you agree to support Drea, she'll forget about the credits you owe her because she's in charge and you suck it up. The first one? If that's the case, then I'm a little disappointed. I've never been one for her notions of honor and nobility. We're pirates. We're meant to be dirty, rotten scoundrels. I only played nice because I had to, or I would be paid. Or I wouldn't be paid. When I heard Drea had joined up with the Black Sun, I figured we'd start raking in even more money. Now you're telling me that's not the case? You don't care whether or not Drea's dealing in slaves? Not particularly. The way I see it, slaves are just another commodity. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me not to make a profit off of them. I'm hoping whoever replaces Drea will think the same way. If I can get in their good books, I can stand to make a lot of money. You're really not doing a good job of making me consider joining back up with Drea. You're gonna have to do a lot of better to consider it. Excuse me. Well, now I just want to kill you because you want to be a slaver. But I don't have that option, so... The second one. Really? She'll really promise me that? All 3 million credits? Yeah, she'll wipe away the entire... How did you get in debt 3 mil, dude? Well, that's a persuasive argument. I was still miffed that she blamed me for the loss of that cruiser. It wasn't my fault that Gravity Well wasn't where the star chart said it was. I tried to tell her that, but she wasn't having it. She said she owed me 5 million credits. She said she owed me 5 million to buy another cruiser. She said, I think it's supposed to say, she said I owed her 5 million, whatever. And you've paid her back 2 million so far? Yep, Drea's been taking a bit of cut of profits for a couple years now, but I still owe her 3 million, as you know. I wasn't looking forward to spending another 10 years or so working that off. I figured that Drea was replaced. She wouldn't be in a position to make me pay her for what I owe her. But if she's willing to forget about the money, I guess I can keep working with her. So you pledge your loyalty to Drea again. Yeah, why not? Tell Drea I'll support her. I'll even wrangle my crew back into line to get their support too. But you let her know that I'm only staying because if the credits are good. If something like that, this happens again, or if the credits dry up, I'm done and gone. I will. Alrighty then. You best be going. I gotta get a rowdy crew to bribe, persuade, and cajole back into line. Catch you on the flip side. Alright, Xiaomin. What do you want? Drea sent me to meet with you. Xiaomin glances at it for less than a second. So you're the nerf herder she's got doing her dirty work. Well, let me save you some time. There's nothing you can say that'll let me join back with Drea. I don't care about this whole thing with the Black Sun or what she's offering in exchange for my support. I want her gone. Why is that? Because I got my sights set on her position and I want it. This whole situation is the perfect opportunity for me to take over the Remthal fleet. I sit back, let everyone else fight it out. As I gather support, and the second Drea is done and done for, I swoop in, take over, and shoot anyone who's dumb enough to get in my way. I'm sure I could change your mind if you just listen to... No. Now beat it, you hut-kissing barv. If you're still here in 5 seconds, I'm going to blast you 5. Xiaomin clearly is in a cooperating mood. It seems you'll have to get creative in dealing with him, just as Drea said you might have to. Bribe? Flirt? Beg? Argue? Screw it. Punch him. Oh, sick. That's the way Bum will deal with this. Oh, you're in for her now. All right, just take it easy. Hey, no need for anything crazy. Just let me live and I'll do whatever you want, honest. You're a pushover. Fine, fine, sniff, sniff. If that's what you want to hear, that's what keeps you from blasting me, then I'm a pushover. Just let me live. I'll let you live if you join up with Drea. All right, I'll do it. No problem. I'll join back up with right away. You better. Don't give me a reason to come back here and rough you up again. I'll be good, I swear. You won't get any more trouble out of me. Good, because if you step out again, I'll be back. Don't worry, boss. I'll behave. You'll see. Yeah, that was Bum specialty right there. Kren says, you're my new crewman? You took your time getting here, but you better late than never. They point out a Corvette. Hop on board the ship and stow your stuff. I'm afraid I don't have time to give you a grand tour. I'm supposed to be meeting someone in a few minutes. I'm not your crewman. Sorry, I'm actually the person you're meeting with. Kern raises an eyebrow at that statement. I was expecting Drea to make her case in person. You want to tell me why she isn't here herself and why I should even bother listening to you? Well, she gave me this for one thing. He takes his pin away from you, inspects it before nodding and handing it back. Fine, I'll listen to what you have to say, but only because I still believe in this insignia represents. What exactly does it represent? It represents the 20 good years I've been working with Drea. All the profits we made, all the ships we stole, all the idiots we scammed, and the rivals we bested. All the good times. I owe her enough to listen to whatever you have to say. Thank you. So, say your piece. Why should I keep working with Drea when she's dealing with Black Sun? When she's dealing in the slave trade, no less. The first one, she's being framed. That's exactly what anyone caught dealing with Black Sun would say if she's in an agreement with the Black Sun, claiming that she doesn't cost her nothing. Unless you have proof she's being set up, I don't buy it. Drea's personal records, take a look. You'll see she's not dealing with the Black Sun. She actually gave you her personal records. Didn't expect that. She really isn't messing around. Let me see those. He spends a long time pouring through Gia's personal records. Several times, he pulls out his own data pad and cross-references the information with his own records. Finally, eventually, he looks back up to you and hands you Gia's records back. Well, I asked proof, and you gave me proof. So you're convinced? I am. There's no way Drea would whip up such credible fake records so quickly, and all the information in her records line up with the information of mine. All this proves that she's not dealing with the Black Sun, so you rejoin Drea and pledge your loyalty again. I will, but you'll still have to persuade Rick Shaman to follow my lead. You've got your work cut out. They're stubborn to say, I dealt with you last, dude. If you manage to convince them, join up with Drea, head back to her and give her the good news. I'm going to stay here. Wait for that crewman I mistook you for. Good luck out there. Okay. Well, we're done here, so let's go up north and deal with the Hutt Cartel and exchange assassins. Alright, here are the Hutts. Hey, guys. Sorry, not sorry. With the Hutts thugs dealt with, you kneel down and remove a medallion with the insignia of the Hutt Khajidik, whatever, they serve. Its return to the thugs' master will serve as a powerful message. Alright, now for the exchange. I think I have to drive around the block? They're over there. Yeah, we gotta drive around the block, I think. I'm just gonna go this way. You reach down and tear off a strip of an exchange uniform from one of the forces' bodies. Hopefully the exchange will understand the warning it represents when Illyria sends it back to them. Okay, let's go back to Trust Tower. Giddy up. I'm gonna just use an ITV pad because there should be one right there. And I guess I'll go to the civilian starport. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Combat. Oh, hey, it's Io. Hey, thanks for coming out. With hopefully the real Io dead and her cranial implant in your possession, you should return to Kadar and deliver to him. I don't know why she came after me. I feel like hiding was her best bet. She also didn't say anything when she spawned in. It was just beep, 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 and I got shot. Here's Drea. Well, look who it is. You're back in one piece. I take it you managed to get Kren, Rick, and Shaman back in line. Yep. Well, I'll be. That's fantastic. You've done me a really big favor. I owe you a big-time sweetness. How can I repay you? Could you vouch for me to Lando? That scrumptious little scoundrel. Sure can. I'll put in a good word with you for him. Lando loves me. He'll listen to what I have to say. Thanks again for all your help, sweetie. If you ever get tired of adventuring life, consider come joining my crew. I'll keep that offer in mind. See you later, darling. I will never join your crew, but thanks. Hey, Talon. You're back. I take it you found IO. I found an IO, whether it's the IO, I can't be certain. If you hand over a cranial implant, I'll be able to figure that out by analyzing the DNA from the implant itself. Yep, here you go. Thank you. One moment. Excellent. There is no bioengineered tags present in this DNA sample, so it's the real IO and not a sham. Wait, what did that say? And not a clone. I don't know why I read that as an S. It appears that way, yes. And what about the implant itself? Our Cardass secrets there. Let's see, shall we? Yes, everything's here. All of Cardass' greatest secrets. Brilliant, truly brilliant. What a relief. Yes, quite. Not only has your acquisition of the implant prevented Cardass' secrets from falling into his hands, it also means that I can use those secrets against Cardass himself, and perhaps fend him off on his return. You're still convinced he's coming back? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, I don't mean to be rude, but I must focus on preparing my organization for Cardass' return. The secrets contained on the implant may be enough to make him reconsider coming after me, but that may not be the case, and I must plan for every eventuality. Before I go, would you mind vouching for me to Administrator Calrissian? I need to meet with him. Of course, you've done me a great service for me. It's only fair that I perform a comparably small favor for you in return. Thanks, Kadar. Of course. Perhaps we'll have dealings again in the future. Bye for now. And then we go to Illyria with the proof. Well, paint me green and call me a Murialan. You're alive. I was certain you were gonna cark it. Great work, kiddo. You just dealt with some of the deadliest killers in the galaxy. Thanks. Here are their trophies I took for each group. Yeah, these will do just fine. I'll take it. It'll take me a while to clear my name and prove to the cartels that I'm not an Imperial, but for now, these will send a message not to mess with me. Glad I could help. And I'm glad you came along, kiddo. Thanks for your help. I'll do what I can to set a meeting between you and Orlando. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a couple of deliveries to arrange. Now, let's speak with Jacoby. There's the complete for Ish, or 380, 400, 420 blaze it credits, respectively. Thousands. Now that you've helped all of Calrissian's allies with the crises they're facing, return to Teotihuacan and speak with her. Okay. Let's go talk to her. I don't remember where she is. Security Center, okay. Alright, we are here with Teotihuacan. She says, you're back. I just spoke with Jacoby Breen, that guard you spoke with at Tress Casino. He gave me a rundown on the situation and how you managed to help all of Lando's allies. Thanks to you, we're close to having this whole situation under control. Well done, my friend. Really well done. Thanks, Teotihuacan. I just hope it was all worth the trouble. Believe me, it was. Each of Calrissian's allies sends their thanks again, and they've agreed to vouch for you to Lando and ask him to meet with you. If that's still what you want, that is. It definitely is. I figured it would be. Calrissian is currently in his office in his personal tower. I'll send you word that you're on your way. Make sure you have authorization to reach the upper levels of the tower. Thanks, Teotihuacan. No problem, and let me say, it's been a pleasure working with you. I never thought a city-wide crisis could be so fun. Drinks are on me anytime you want to catch up. Pleasure was mine. See you around. Sergeant Kamar contacts us and says, Kamar here, you've done a remarkable job arranging a meeting with Calrissian. Amazing work. With any luck, your warning to him about the Imperials here will make all the difference. And we got 320,000 credits from that quest. Yay! So we gotta go to the Administrator's Tower. An easier way to get there, though, is just a shuttle there. And I think that's what we'll do. We'll use this landing pad. I'll use my ITV just to go right over there. Oh, you know what? We have to actually enter through the bottom floor to get the quest update. So let's take the elevator all the way down. Walk outside. Boom. Okay, now we can go talk to Lando. Who is... Is he all the way up? No, he's on this floor. This is one of the ones where I have to use the outer hallway? I think so. There we go. It's Lando Calrissian. There he is. He gets a special, unique model to make himself look even more like Billy D. Williams. Wait, hold on, what? Alright. Calrissian is just storing away his communicator, smiling upon noticing you enter. He looks up and greets you. So you're the stranger who wanted a meeting, the one who helped my allies. Yes, it's urgent that we speak, Baron Administrator. I had figured as much, given all the work you did across Cloud City to set up a meeting with me. This crisis is nowhere near over, but you've helped us get on top of it and single-handedly given us a chance of getting it under control. On behalf of myself and all the people in Cloud City, you've helped. Thank you. It's not a problem, Administrator. The Rebel Alliance helps those in need. He raises an eyebrow. You're part of the rebellion, then he smiles. That makes a lot of sense, actually. You're just like all the other rebels I've met. Selfless, always looking to help out a little guy, fighting for what's right. You've had dealings with the rebellion before? I sure have. If you ever run into Han Solo, ask him to tell you about that rebel raid on Yalicia I helped out with, or that fiasco with the Yavin Basilica. These are all references that I'm not familiar with, but I'm sure if I look at Wikipedia right now, they show up. I've even sold you guys some weapons and supplies from time to time. Bespin and Cloud City may have to remain neutral in the war, but I'm a no friend of the Empire. You rebels have my unofficial support. Then on behalf of the Rebel Alliance, could I ask for your help once again, Administrator? Call me Lando, and sure, I'll try to help however I can, but remember, I can't support the Alliance openly or do anything that would put Bespin's neutrality at stake. What do you need? The Rebel Alliance desperately needs new ships and supplies. The Empire found our base on Hoth and launched a major ground assault. Some of us managed to evacuate, but we've lost nearly everything. Anything you can provide will be immensely helpful. Of course, one of the benefits of being in charge of such a large city is that there's countless places for supplies to go missing. I'll ask a Lobot to go through the list of our supplies. With his implant, it'll only take a minute or two. We'll give you whatever we can spare. Where should we deliver them to you? I hand him a data card. My crew is hiding in the abandoned industrial sector at these coordinates. Thanks. Give me a moment and I'll get Lobot on that right away. He steps away for a moment, withdraws his comm link, and speaks with Lobot. When the conversation ends, he walks back over to resume yours. Was there anything else? Yes. As a fact, the Empire is... Oh, an alarm begins to sound from Lando's desk, interrupting you. Frowning, Lando steps over to investigate what he sees causes him to scowl and swear. An Imperial fleet. He runs to the nearest window and peers up into the sky. Where's a window in here? Maybe these curtains are drawn down. Maybe these are supposed to be curtains that are drawn down. I'm like, wait a second. What window? I say it's starting. From the window, Lando watches the flickers of pseudo-motion as a fleet of Imperial Star Destroyers emerges from hyperspace. What's starting? The Empire's occupation of Cloud City. They sent a team of agents ahead to undermine your control and are responsible for this crisis you're facing. Then you and your rebels friends need to leave right away. The Empire can't know you're here. It'll mean disaster for all of us. But what about you? And what about Cloud City? I've dealt with the Empire countless times before. This time will be no different. The Imperials may have engineered this crisis, but you and your rebel friends have done so much to counteract their efforts. You've given us the advantage and the ability to keep fighting back. But we can stay and protect you, fight for you. You don't stand a chance against the entire Imperial fleet. Besides, if the rebellion is in a poor shape as you told me after the Battle of Hoth, they need all the men and women they can to help them rebuild. You have to get away, now, before the Imperials establish a blockade and you're trapped here. Keep fighting the good fight and take the Empire down. Alright, we'll go. But our ships need repairs before we can leave. I'll send some of my engineers down to help you. They'll accompany the supplies I promise you. Lobot's just sent word that he's arranged for them to be delivered to you right away. Thank you, Lando. He smiles at you. Good luck. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to put on a good show for the Empire and act all indigent and outraged when their representatives arise. I feel sorry for the poor, lowly officer they send to speak with me, he chuckles. Until we meet again. Until then, may the Force be with you. So for this, we got 490,000 credits, and we got 3 rewards. We got a schematic for Lando Calrissian's Kate. Wow, you can take that to a domestics tailor and they'll craft one up for you. A Lando Calrissian statuette. Wow. And a cyborg helmet, which you equip in your appearance slot to make yourself look like Lobot / an android. Sergeant Kamar also called us and says, clearly we can't stay in Cloud City any longer. There's Lobot, by the way. I saw him in the background when I was in this building before, but there he officially is. The sergeant said, clearly we can't stay in Cloud City any longer. We'll start loading the transport and make ready to leave. Come back to the base, and we should talk before we leave. Okay. Let's go back to the industrial sector. Why is Lando here? Is there a quest that spawns him here? He was not here when I got it. Whatever. The Bespin Rebel map is kind of a mess. I think it does its job. Like, you can't just go straight across the map like in a lot of other places because of the elevated roads. Like, even flying mounts like jetpacks won't give you all of them. So the map does a good job of actually, like, showing, hey, here's the road. So you can at least track it pretty well. I think it's detailed well. I think the only time the map... this is a problem for, like, the map anywhere in the game. This isn't just a Bespin problem, but because a lot of these structures are multi-leveled, like the casino we were in, or the Administrator's Palace, when you get a waypoint to, like, go to here, it usually takes a little bit of trial and error to figure out, like, where the actual quest NPC is. That's just a general limitation of the world map, though. I don't know if there's something they could do to, like let you toggle through world map, but then I don't know how much effort that would be worth, considering not all those places are multi-level, just a couple of them. All right, here we are back with Sergeant Kamar in the abandoned hangar the rebels are hiding out in. They say, good, you're back. Preparations for our departure are underway. The supplies Lando promised us were delivered a few minutes ago, along with his engineers. They're aboard, finalizing the repairs to the hyperdrive engines and shields. We should be ready to go any minute now. I'm like, what about our crew? Some of them are already aboard, including most of the wounded. Those who can are helping to get the ship ready. The critically injured are being treated by the medics and prepared for a bumpy trip. Everyone else is gathering their possessions and stowing them aboard. Is there anything I can do to help out? Nothing I can think of. The crew seems to be on top of things, though. If you have any business you want to attend to before you leave Cloud City, now's the time. We'll take off as soon as you're ready. Got it. Now I should go back to overseeing our preparations. I'll see you aboard the ship. Oh, by the way, Mayrena says she wants to talk to you before we take off. Perhaps pass along the congratulations and thanks. I'll go talk to her now. Sounds good. Stay safe out there, my friend. Mayrena says, hello again. It's good to see you. I'm glad that you're all right. From what I've heard from Kamar about what you've been up to, it's been an eventful time. Eventful is one word for it. I'm sure. Well, I only have a minute to spare before I have to get back to work on the ship. I just wanted to say thank you for what you've done and congratulations on a job well done. I know the end result wasn't exactly what we had in mind, but you still did great work. You made a difference in the lives of every person you helped across Cloud City and all the others too. Thanks, Mayrena. No problem. Once we're aboard, I imagine I'll be too busy keeping the ship running to say goodbye when we reach wherever our next destination may be. So I'll say farewell for now. It was an honor to serve alongside you, my friend. May the force be with you. I hope we meet again soon. I hope so, too. He smiles back here. All right, back to work for me. I'll see you around. So now we got to go board via the transport elevator, which is just talking to this transport officer, who says, hello, Vum. How can I help you? Hey, can you fly me up to transporter 11, please? Sure. And here we go. Our deck officer. Do you want to travel back to Bespin? Okay, so you can go leave this instance talking to that individual, I suppose. Let's go speak with a sergeant in the bridge, who says, well, I suppose it was foolish to me to think we'd slip away unnoticed. One of the Star Destroyers spotted us. They've sent ties. As I'm sure you've noticed, we're in trouble. We're always in trouble. Despite the circumstances, he laughs. Yeah, that's true. But jokes aside, we need your help to get away safely. Most of our regular crew is working to ensure our last-minute repairs don't fall apart. Those that aren't tending to the wounded and Lando's engineers debarked before we took off. You're pretty much the only person we can spare. What needs to be done? Too many things. Our navigator fell and hit his head when one of the ties shot us. You need to calculate the hyperspace jump from the bridge as he recovers. We won't have time to reach orbit, so disengage the hyperdrive safeties and calculate the jump from within the atmosphere. Chances are we'll blow up when we jump, but it's our only shot. Okay, what else? The shields need bolstering before they can buckle. You can transfer emergency power to them from engineering, and the weapon systems need reinitializing. They short-circuited when we took a nasty blow earlier. There should be a panel just outside the bridge that'll do it. Easily done. Anything else? Jesus. Might as well just make me a laundry list. The hyperdrive needs a new coaxium fuel capsule. We didn't have time to replace it before we took off. You can do that from engineering 2. And lastly, the gravity plating on the deck 2 has gone offline. Some of our engineers are stuck down there in 0G. If you can fix the electrical conductor located next to the turbo lift, the plating should come back online. I'm on it. Hurry. Okay, let's do the hyper Nava computer calculation. That takes time. Okay, we repair that. The heroic music playing. Let's go into Bothan Rhodian jail. Do the weapon systems panel. All right, let's go to the other Bothan Rhodian jail. Hyper fuel thing. Do that. All right. Let's go out here into the hallway. Let's do the power transfer. Cool. And let's do the malfunctioning electrical conductor. Cool. With the repairs of the ship complete, head to the back to the bridge and jump to light speed. Speak to Sergeant Kamar. Let's blow up, everybody. Are the repairs done? Or repaired them the best I could. The ship will hold for hyperspace. Alrighty, let's hope this works. Initiating hyperspace jump, punch it. The pilot throws down the hyperdrive lever. You hear the distinctive whine of the hyperdrive charging up. Moments later, the deck shudders beneath you as the ship lurches forward into hyperspace and safety. We did it. Wow, I can't believe we made it. Me neither. Do you have any idea of the chances of successfully jumping to hyperspace from within a planet's gravity well are? Let alone from within an atmosphere? We just beat the odds. And chances are the Empire thinks we blew up in the attempt, so I doubt they'll try to chase us. Not that chasing people through hyperspace is easy, but anyways, I think we got lucky. Either that or the Force is looking out for us. Whatever the case, I'm just lucky we're alive and safe for once. It's a nice change of pace. Agreed, so what's the plan? Well, even though we got away from the Empire, we're in no shape to rejoin the war yet, so we should take the time necessary to ensure our injured can heal, and we can make more extensive repairs to the ship. The rebellion suffered heavy losses at Hoth, but will recover. Hopefully soon. We'll be ready to rejoin the fleet when our time comes to regroup. And then? I'm not sure. Extensive debriefings for everyone, of course, but after that, we've got men and women from all different groups within the rebellion aboard. I imagine they'll be reassigned where they're needed. Same with me. Maybe I'll be given a promotion and a command of my own. I like to think that I've proven myself to be a good enough leader. You have, Kamar, very capable here. You did a lot of great work on Bespin. But nothing compared to what you did. Thank you. I did do more work than you. Seriously, you did phenomenal work back there. It's one thing to plan an operation of that scale. It's another to carry out and see it completed. I'm going to speak with High Command as soon as I can to recommend you be given a medal for your actions. I appreciate that, Kamar. You've earned it more than earned it, but like I said, you may be a while before the rebellion regroups. Until then, who knows? Maybe we'll find ourselves a new adventure. Hopefully, it's an adventure that leads to a nice vacation. He laughs heartily. Oh, I really hope we get to work together again in the future. I'm proud to call you a friend, and now I know I'm going to miss you. Feel the same way, Kamar. And then we finished Rebel Star Act 4. We have 500,000 credits, and as our final reward, we get a structure deed for the Rebel Spire. Cool. And it just puts us back in the industrial sector of Cloud City when we're done, I guess. So, let's go land. Hilariously, it puts us back in the same hangar, actually. Oh, you guys are back. Wow. I wonder what happens if we talk to them. The adventure awaits. Good to see you again. That's it. Okay. So that is the end of the Rebel Bespin storyline. Let's go look at what a Rebel Spire looks like. I actually have an example in the player city that I run, so let's go. Alright, so this would be the Rebel Spire if you were to place the deed. For those of you who are like, that's just the Emperor's Meditation Tower or whatever. I'm like, yes, it is, but it's the Rebel version. So if you knew that one, that was familiar with it. I believe this one's public, so I think we can go in and check it out, because I think there was a vendor in here. Yep, so inside, you just go up one floor, And then you can look out the windows and see pretty far. Wow, like there's the city. Wow, you can see City Hall from here. Majestic. I think I don't remember how many lots it takes. I'll put some info on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. It is pretty big in terms of its footprint, though. So you are going to need a little bit of space for it. It's also not the friendliest when it comes to hilly terrain. It's more forgiving than some structures, though. So you can definitely, if it like doesn't fit on one spot, try rotating it a few times. That might fit. But it's a pretty cool structure. I don't use one right now, but I think it takes 2 lots. That sounds about right. I think it was like on the smaller end. It's like a large structure, but a smaller slot limit. So yeah, it's a pretty cool house. So the hitching that you get near the cantina is hitching that basically anybody gets, and it's not necessarily that your PC's underpowered for Galaxies. That's not the case. It's just that Star Wars Galaxies still... What the fuck? It's... hasn't been, fully updated to utilize more modern hardware. So, for example, the executable client that you run to play Galaxies is still only 32-bit. There's not a 64-bit version of the game. Somebody was working on one, or they started working on one. But obviously, if you had and the difference between those is there's a bunch, but a simple one is like 32-bit versions of software executables can only access, like, I think it's usually like 8 gigabytes of your RAM, because that's when it was developed back then. There was typically not more RAM than that, but 64-bit can use a lot more of utilize more of your RAM space to like partition and use that space better and more frequently. So like that's just one example of a lot of the old technical poo-poo that Star Wars Galaxies is laden with. So the reason it hitches a lot near the cantina is because the cantina is not only full of world props and NPCs, but it's also full of players usually. And it's not just players, but it's full of their pets, their familiars, their clothing and their clothing colors, particle effects from like entertainers doing stuff, smoke, droids doing entertainer stuff. And most importantly is actually the player models themselves, because while the Galaxy's player character creation is extremely in-depth and like detailed, the problem with that is that every time you run into that player, the game has to generate that model, tell you all of the specific settings they use to generate the model so that your client sees the same thing and then communicate that to you. That's why a lot of modern MMOs still use the slider option, because it'll just store all those slider options and go, yeah, here it is. That's like in Star Wars The Old Republic, you have 4 body types. It only has to worry about body type 1, 2, 3, and 4. But in Galaxies, like, you can have a vast variety of body types because of everything's a slider. There's no like pre-pick. So loading all of those individual character models is actually very resource costly. The only reason I know that much about that specific aspect is the devs actually talked about that in a development update once and how that impacts stuff. So they try to make changes on Legends specifically to help cull that behavior. But yeah, long story short, old game, not optimized for new hardware and software, and it's got some features of it that actually end up being more baggage than boon sometimes. I'm probably not the most technically apt person to like fully go into detail on that stuff. So take that like as a very basic understanding. Yep, no problem. Yeah, you'll see issues anywhere a good number of players are currently at. So a really good example of that is if you're ever doing PvP and there's more than like 3 or 4 groups of players, so like more than 20-ish players, you'll start hitting hitches like that and performance impacts when they're around, not even when they're actively PvPing. Like if you go to Kadar on Naboo right now, the Ewok Festival love's going on, you'll hit a hitch loading in because the festival area is right next to the starport. So it'll hiccup a little bit more than usual in Kadar right now. All right, so we're back in the underground cantina because I'm going to show off the PvE arena. And by show off, I mean demonstrate, because I have not done the PvE Holonet arena that they added with Bespin as a solo officer. And while I have done it quite a bit on my other characters and made specific builds for it, even gotten some respectable scores. First of all, the build that I'm running with my officer is definitely not meta for this. Second of all, we'll see how melee does in here. Probably not great. I'll probably be pulling out my carbine every once in a while, but yeah, so not an ideal build. We're going to be doing Inferno, but we made a lot of credits over our journey here. I don't know if you all remember, but I started with like 8 or 10 mil. I have not done anything else outside of Bespin since starting Bespin on my officer. So we doubled or moored our credits during this journey, despite, you know, not getting a lot of junk loot from enemies. It's just the crest rewards are so high. So if you do Bespin, you should easily have at least 1 million credits, because you need 1 million credits to enter the arena. So if I bring up my instance menu here that we've seen before, you'll see that I'm not flagged for something called the Arena Bespin Underground 1 player, 2 player, or 4 players. So the 1 million credit request to get in was added, I think, probably like a content or a credit sink, where they're trying to take some credits out of the economy, especially since they're introducing a lot with doing this quest line, should you choose to do it like we did. And so you just pay 1 million credits fee, and that fee is a one-time fee. You never need to do it again, and it'll clear you for all 3 of these, 1, 2, and 4 players. And the reason you might want to do this arena is a variety of reasons. Number one is to get unrefined Tabana gas, which is one of the gas currencies that were added with Bespin. If we go over to Gari, Brapo, and see what she has. These are a lot of items that I think I showed before briefly that you can purchase for unrefined Tabana gas. They also might require an amount of refined Tabana gas, which crafters can refine in the cryo room in the mining sector, but they have to do a prerequisite quest in the Trader Guild Hall to be able to do that. But crafters can take unrefined Tabana gas and refine it, and then you can use that to make purchases for things like here. These include pieces of armor. So like if you wanted the Guavian Death King armor crafted, you could buy a schematic for that. Or if you just want a piece of it like their belt. I'm actually wearing the Guavian Death King belt right now. As my Pirate slots right here. It's a nice belt. Can't change its color, but it's a nice black, so it fits with a lot of looks. You also have some things that you could use for decorations in your house. So like a lot of these like cool signs. You also have, as I mentioned before, this cloud car. And then you have a ATV variant of that, which is a placed ATV like the AT-AT heads. No trade shared though, so you can't sell it to other people. You also have some weapons in here. Like the Guavian Death King stun baton is actually a pretty cool melee weapon. Holograms and carbonate. And again, that refined Tabana gas is used in a lot of other places as well, such as the some of the trader vendors require a refined Tabana gas, and I think the PvP platform might, but there's that. But if we come over here and speak to Mex Nagu, a manager, he'll say, well, hello there, stranger. What are you doing down here? I say, I like the underground bars, so I came, what's up? So you have heard of the famous Holonet battle arena of Cloud City yet? No, what is this battle about? You'll have to fight through many waves of Holonet creatures. You can fight alone or in groups. Each week we are looking for the best survivor of the arena challenge. Sounds interesting, yeah? Yes, can I start? So this information will cost you a bit. Let's say 1 million credits. And I say, oh, you're kidding, right? Dang, well, okay, here's your credits. A good choice. You won't regret it. Well, unless you won't survive, maybe. Anyway, I have added you to the access list of the Holonet Battle Arena. Have fun. Thanks. Where do I go now? You have the choice between solo, 2-player, and 4-player arenas. What would you like? So, yeah. So, the way the arenas differ is in a few ways. The 2-player and 4-player arenas will have some extra barricades to use, which I will show and describe what those do. There will also be different levels of scaling and difficulty. So 2 and 4 players will have more NPCs spawning in. The NPCs will be of greater difficulty. And that's basically it. The solo arena, the bosses are better scaled for a single player. And there are fewer NPCs, and so they stack up a little shorter. One thing you want to note is that the leaderboards are very important. So if I ask, what do I get for winning a leaderboard? He says, I track the best individuals and groups of adventurers that pass through the arena. At the end of each week, which I think the reset's Thursday in the US time, similar kind of like to the PvP GCW reset. At the end of each week, the top contestant in each category will receive a special beast and the top 3 competitors will receive additional tokens. So the special beast he's referring to is a DNA sample of the Anuba, which is the pet that you can see from the Clone Wars animated shows, a lot of other Star Wars places. But it is a feline and has a similar, it is offensive type. It's very similar to the Corellian Sand Panther, if you're familiar with that as a Beastmaster. So you can get flank, I like flank, bite, and I think puncture on it. It has pet abilities. It's a cool pet. You have to get, that's only for first place though, but the top 3 in the leaderboards will get extra Tabana gas. First place will also get the extra Tabana gas. So if you want to take a look at the leaderboards, it will bring up this menu that will show you different groups. So you get rewarded for appearing in the top of any of these leaderboards. So you're eligible to appear in the top of your profession for a character, a duo leaderboard, or a group leaderboard. So you could potentially get a lot of Tabana gas if you're very competitive in this. But let's just take a look at the officer leaderboard and see what the current week is like. So right now we can see that there are, let me just change this menu a little bit. There are 3 people ranked. The first one has a score of 105,000, 42,000, and then 1,600. For solo, a score of 100,000 or greater is generally a pretty respectable score. 42,000 is a bit more average. Anything below, I'd say 30,000 is probably on the lower end. This person may not have been buffed, or maybe it was their first time trying out. But if you also look at the other scores, you can start seeing how the different professions stacking against each other. So if we go back, look at the leaderboards. Let's take a look at solo Jedi. Jedi, again, being a very effective profession at surviving and solo play. So the top officer this week's 100k. What about the top Jedi this week? 255,000. And there's 2 people over 200k, quite a bit over 100k. A lot more people competing in this category. Makes sense that more people would compete in this category because, again, Jedi is a very popular solo profession to play, popular profession all around. It also makes sense they could score very high with specific builds. But for comparison, let's take a look at the 2-player BattleNet score. Oh, shit, I just went in on accident. Oops. Well, this is actually a good example. If you do what I do and you go into the wrong BattleNet arena, you can either use the eject command, or there's a terminal in here that you should be able to click. I don't know where the hell it is, though. Oh, there it is. So we went on the wrong one, but that's okay. This is a good example. So we loaded in. I'm not doing this. I'm going to exit. And it says, warning, you will not be able to return, so we're going to leave. And I think it kicks you out the underground cantina, but that's okay. Yep, we're out. So if I do the show instance timer and lockout now, it'll say, you know, that instance was available for 90 minutes, or reset the normal instance reset time, but that's just for the 2 players. So every day you could do the single player, the solo, the 2-player, or the 4-player. So for example, if I want to do that duo arena, I could do it tomorrow with somebody else. I can't go back into it once I leave, though. The reason I didn't want to do it is because the way the arena works is that you're in it until your timer runs out of the instance, or you perish. And when you perish, you lose all your buffs, just like, you know, anywhere else. So I don't really want to lose all my buffs in an arena that I know I'm not going to make it far in by myself. So let's just come back here. All right, so here's Max again. So we speak with him. We can say Legacy leaderboard. So let's look at the duo Holonet arena score for comparison. You can see that on this board, the scores are, you got 2 players who ranked in 100k, the same group. Next group's got 59k. So in this one, you just have to like beat the group. So you'll see the group number 1 is these 2, group number 2, these 2, group number 3. So if I was to come in here with a friend, we would just have to, we'd both place 3rd if we were able to exceed a score of 54,000. And then for comparison, for anyone curious, here's the group Holonet currently this week. Apparently only 1 group has tried. And they only got 16k. Keep in mind, the group Holonet's actually pretty tough. You want to go in with a group composition that'll lead to success. I have seen everything from 4 Jedi to, like, what you would think, like, an officer, medic, maybe a Jedi or commando, and then, like, some other AoE damage dealer, like another officer, another commando, A smuggler, whatever. A spy with group buffs, whatever. My only recommendations are make sure you're level 90 for this, make sure you got your gear and your 5-piece, and make sure you're fully buffed. There are some strategies you could use, but I'll talk about those while I'm in there. Again, I'm more used to doing this as a medic or a smuggler or a commando. So I don't have any specific thing to officer right now, but let's go ahead and just access the solo Holonet already. Alright, so here we are. Let's make sure all my buffs are good. You do have some enemies that do bleeds and poisons in here. I think the poison is a little bit more common, so we'll eat a food for poison resistance, pop stim. Let's just run some Neutron Pixie as our spice. Gonna take out a couple of those. For the buffs, we want to lean defensive. I'm not going to use parry rating as a lot of the enemies here are enraged, so typically I'd say you run some critical reduction, but we'll run glance. So once we run from our starting point into the middle of the arena will begin, and you can see here is an NPC loading in. You'll have a period of time before a wave starts. It depends on the kind of wave that is about to spawn in. So waves that are just basic NPCs that aren't strong elites, they spawn every 5 seconds. Waves that include strong NPCs, I believe you have a 20 or 30 second leeway in solo. And then it's same for the boss. In groups, the normal NPC waves, you actually have, I think, 10 or 15 seconds to give you extra leeway time, because it's like, oh, well, you have a couple players, and maybe they need more coronation for things or whatever. So they give you a little bit more leeway. So you see that a crate spawned in here? I can hit that crate and bust it open to get a free heal. If I don't use that crate before I think about a minute has passed, it'll just despawn. More importantly, as you saw a blue circle, if you blinked, you missed it. It gave me a thing called Targeting Enhancement Matrix. And what that does is you put this buff here that increases my damage output by 100%. That's pretty cool. So that is basically the meta of this, is that you always want to have the Targeting Matrix buff up for as long as you can. You never want to be without it if you can help it. So there it is over here. I'm going to run over and grab this. In solo, just go ahead and grab it when you see it. In duos, depending on your group's situation and what you're trying to do, you can try and share it. The spawns are usually frequent enough to where you might be able to do that and have not quite 100% uptime for both players, but pretty high uptime. Otherwise, you might want to have it favor one player or the other. So a good example of that is I did the Holonet Arena once with an old character that was an officer. It was a duo. And I was an officer, and then my friend was playing a light side Jedi tank. So he let me take all of the damage pools. And the way it worked was we would try and group up the NPCs by running to one end, having the NPCs try and run over, get as close, then I just AoE as much as possible. And then if I didn't have Superior Firepower up, which is an officer buff you can unlock, to do a bunch of damage, we could then use Saber Intercept on me. So this is a boss wave. You can see here's the Black Sun Leader. I'm actually going to run over here, run into that pool. That'll give me an offensive buff. You can only have one of these 3 buffs active at a time, and these pools only spawn during the boss round. Oh, and the Target Matrix still spawns, so we want to keep that up. That's more important than these middle pools, by the way. Target Matrix is much better. The offensive pool gives me 25% damage output, which is good, and 25% crit chance, but the 100% damage output's better than either of those things, but you can have both. So for now, I'm going to run double offense, but later on, we're going to be grabbing that blue pool. And what that blue pool will do is increase my armor rating, I believe, but more importantly, decrease the amount of damage incoming to me by a base amount as well. Now, you've probably seen these barricades I mentioned earlier, defensive barricades. If you've done the Galactic Civil War city invasions in Bespin, Corinne, or... oh my goodness, Dieric. Sorry, I forgot, what's the place on Talus? Dieric, you'll know that these will intercept damage for you if you stand next to them. So think of them as extra health when your defensive cooldowns are not up. That's the best way to think about it, I think. So we're going to have Elite Wave coming in here. So in the beginning, I'm going to be pushing these waves as fast as possible, doing as much damage as I can. Because again, getting faster sooner helps us early on. We can avoid having to maybe use some of our defensive cooldowns. And this is still a timed instance. So if I open my instance timer here. Solo, you see I have 90 minutes. So you have to survive for that time period or until you die. That's basically when this instance ends, or when you leave, which you use the elevator terminal, or I think the eject command works as well. I missed that pool. Yeah, so that targeting enhancement pool, unfortunately, it only draws in the map when you're facing it, so you might see me start spinning around, basically keeping my head on a swivel. There it is. So I can grab it as soon as it shows up. You're also going to be seeing me switch to my carbine often to do a little bit extra range damage. More so later. For right now, though, I'm just going to be running around hitting stuff. So the Womp Rat's going to chase me. That's always melee, so I'm going to start over by the sniper. So you'll see me making that kind of decision a lot, too. Since I am running melee, I'm like, well, that thing's going to come to me, so I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, this boss is a K2 droid. This is a good situation. So the Black Sun leader we fought earlier does pretty good damage, and they could put an armor break on you. Kind of scary. What's scary about the K2 droid, the IG-88 droid and the IG-88 droid that can spawn, and the Super Battle droid, is that in the arena, electricity or fire will spawn. I believe electricity is from the K2 droid and the Assassin droid, and electricity will spawn, and the fire will spawn from the Super Battle droid. So we want to not stand in that, but it's very hard to see. It doesn't happen immediately, though, so we can push him quickly. We might avoid it. It is kind of a spicy hit, though. Should it appear? I think we kill him fast enough, so it's not too much of a problem. Yeah, so we couldn't see it there. I got rid of him too quickly, but that's okay. That's good for me. I'll keep the offensive buff for wave 20, but next time I'm going to want to switch over to defensive. So basically every 10 waves. It can happen every 5 too. We'll see you later on. Oh, if I get that far. The difficulty is going to start raising. These NPCs are going to get hardier and also start using their abilities, and eventually their level is going to increase to level 91. But that won't happen until I think somewhere in the 60s or 70s. So we're not going to have to worry about that anytime soon. We'll have to worry about getting to the 60s or 70s first. You've noticed that's been pretty easy for me so far. I'd say that unless you're caught off guard or maybe under-geared, the first 10 waves are a gimme. You could mess up on the teens, so the set of 10 it's got done with. It's possible, I've done it before. And then 20, that's when it's like, okay, things are getting a little bit more serious, better pay attention. You'll definitely see me or hear me talking less as we get to the higher ranks. This is an elite wave, so I'm going to use a light rally point here, but I'm still going to stick with the offense. So the different NPCs have different strengths in terms of what they can do to you. So a good example here is this malfunctioning rogue droid we just defeated. Both the elites and the normal versions can attack your action pool later on directly, and that's kind of terrible. So sometimes you might want to target them first, especially if you're a profession where you don't have the best action regen. You don't have the worst, but, you know, as somebody who plays Smuggler, those are definitely NPCs I like to get rid of. And even if you do have good action regen, like as a light side Jedi, as a General's Aspect Officer, like I am right now, you know, sometimes you're just getting bad luck on the regen, or they hit your action pool right when you want to do something costly, and then you can't, and you're like, oh, that sucks. So still getting rid of them is good. There are certain NPCs that I would say are much higher priority than others, especially depending on certain professions, so I'll point those out as they start appearing. We've already seen basically all the NPC types you're going to run into in terms of normal enemies. But let's see if we can... Yeah, so Guavian Gang Thug are melee enemies that can have nasty snares and roots. So if your profession without... Well, I guess that one's using a pistol. There are ones that can have melees that focus on melee with snares and rooting. And those can be very nasty, especially if you're playing something like, say, a Commando where you don't have a natural break or movement speed increase to, like, make up for any lost time getting to a targeting matrix. Which, again, priority number 1, targeting matrix. They can be pretty bad, so they become pretty high priority targets. Womp Rats, I'd say they are another melee exclusive target, but I'd say they're not as bad for the fact that you can snare them, run away from them. Enfeeble is an annoying debuff to get, but a lot of professions can cleanse Enfeeble, like Officer. I definitely wouldn't say that they are super bad, but you'll see that I run here, switch my buff from the offense to defense. That gives me damage increase by 20% and 2,000 more armor. That's because from wave 30 now, these enemies are going to start doing a lot more damage. So that's why usually I switch off from doing offensive buffs to defensive buffs. And you'll start me seeing the backpedal a little bit. And again, here comes my range weapon coming out. Gonna throw a pup on it. Also, I know this is kind of information overload. It's not... This is kind of more to get you exposed to it, get an idea of what some of the mechanics are like. It's not really... Any deep guide to this would more be like build guides, which I consider doing for Smuggler, but I think there's some other guides that I would need to have to do before I start talking about some niche builds that, for a very niche purpose. Other things that will help with this arena is if you've already gotten your passive skill increases from running heroics, completing Exarchun, IG-88, Imperial Star Destroyer, Tusken, and Akma Min. You know, those give you stat boosts once you do 10 of them, so that'll help. Probably a big factor is GCW rank. So if you're a general, you have all your GCW buffs, and you have your flag to drop, that's a huge buff. So there's a lot of things you can do to get in here to better optimize. So we have a fighter. This guy's gonna root the malfunctioning droid. I can get 3 targets in my AoEs pretty easy if I stick over here. I'm gonna drop defensive though, because this is when things are gonna start hurting. Uh-oh, that's bad. I have to get that pool. I can't ignore it. I want to get back in my buff here. Guess I'm just going to take on the fighter. Yeah, this is what I thought was going to happen. That's bad. Sometimes you just have bad luck on the timing of some spawns. This is also why I wasn't really keen on doing this as a melee officer. Situations like this where stuff gets spread out. There's a crate over here. I'm going to pop that for healing up quickly, since I only have 5 seconds before these other enemies are up, which there they are. And then we're going to run actually over to this barricade. Gonna be leveraging my carbine here. Yeah. Melee officer here is a little challenging. My damage is good, but I'm not the most survivable profession innately. And this, again, isn't really a build that I would necessarily recommend for this. Cool. Gonna just hope that guy dies to my AoEs, and he did. The other guy got weak. Cool. Sometimes you have to do that too, where you're just like, let's just hope. Oh no. Let's just hope AoEs gets him. So the Venomous Spider Queen is the strongest, easily the strongest boss in here. She can't be rooted or snared. She does a lot of damage, especially through poisons and bleed. She has nasty debuffs. Hate her with a burning passion. But we're going to try our best to not die here. Got some okay damage off. I probably should use the electro macro binoculars on her, but we got some pretty good damage in there. She's definitely the one that scares me the most when she appears. Like, we got rid of her pretty fast. I will say that this melee officer builds does more burst damage than I would think it does. I mean, I always know melee officer does a lot of damage. I played melee officer on live for a bit, but I've never tried it in this scenario. And you know, I'm clearing enemies faster than I think I would. Grab that. Rid of you. So typically the strategy that I recommend doing is getting your AoEs out as soon as possible. Unfortunately, you've been seeing me not do that. Part of getting good at the arena is just doing it multiple times with your profession and build. And what's also really difficult is doing this as melee. If it was ranged, I'd be able to like I could use the strategy I use on my commando, more importantly my smuggler, where what I do is that if enemies are even far away as ranged, they'll try and close the gap a little bit. So I'll try and stand to the outside of the arena, right? And we'll try and get the enemies like to run over to me a bit, set them up for AoEs. Like that. Because you want to catch as many as you can, right? Tenant, marksman. I'm gonna start the marksman just because I think I can get at least the lieutenant and the other marksman in my AoEs. The malfunctioning droid is of concern to me, but ooh, we got some good crits on that with Paint Target and Decapitate, I think. That guy disintegrated. I mean, I know I'm outside the rally point right now, but thank you for running over to me. Yeah, so you're going to start seeing some more unique debuffs. So that marksman puts Spot a Sucker on me, which is minus 100 precision. Not the worst debuff, but rather not, you know, have a penalty on my precision. So, like, one thing I do on my smuggler in here is I'll use my concussion shot or dirty trick to place snare, and I'll try and snare the Guavian Gang fighters and the or the thugs, fighters, etc. and Womp Rats, and just like ignore them for a little bit. I'm gonna fight next to this droid, and hopefully I'll break open the canister at the same time. I was like, do I not have my melee on? Nope. Gonna break this open for a heal, like that. The hit range on that heal, I think, is about 15 or 20 meters. I've never measured it. So you can't break it from across the arena. The other thing I want to note that if you're playing a profession that does incidental damage through an ability, mostly talking about commandos who are running killing spree, keep in mind that your procs damage can hit those crates and activate them. So if you ever see one pop from the other side of the arena and you didn't intentionally shoot it, that's probably what it was. It's probably killing spree. Guavian Gain ATST. So despite being a freaking tank, I actually rate this as the easiest boss. I think it does an armor break, but it does it extremely slow, and often if it misses one armor break, it will just fall off. Also, the base damage is pretty low compared to some of the other bosses. So when I see this, I'm like, all right, easy. Oh yeah, I was gonna run a bet. Oh well, sorry everybody. I was gonna run a prediction about how far I was gonna get, but I just forgot. All right, we're gonna take that defense buff. We'll fight over by this crate. Wow, I just got womboed by something. Okay, yeah, round 50, this is starting to get a little dicey. And I missed the matrix. Oh, generous time on that one. I should have probably used concentrated back to tank there. Oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start playing a little bit more safe here. Yeah, we're gonna use the tank. So that's why I also like, hey, try and get AoEs out as fast as possible so you can clear stuff. Gonna start fighting over by the barriers though. So, you know, of course, try and like take out as many targets as you can quickly. So when you have a weak target like that, try and finish it off. And I missed that pool, and it's an elite wave. This is really bad. I'm a sprint stim. And you get that pool ASAP. Let's take out the Grenadier. They have SFP, and that's stinky. Yeah, sorry, this is like when we get into it, and I'm like, I have to focus. I'm always very close to just disintegrating. Like, if all these guys just get a lucky series of punishing blows or crits, that's it. I did see that crate over there. And we're gonna go leverage that, I think. You can always bait out rounds, by the way, by, like, leaving an enemy alive for a little bit longer if you want to, like, get a crate or not worry about, like, you know, fighting a bunch of dudes to get to targeting buff. So we'll finish them off. So if you couldn't tell already, this this solo play heavily favors professions that can maintain their own supply of stamina, aka, well, action. So if you want to build a setup to do this solo, I highly recommend first making sure that you can have sustainable action. So for a smuggler that's taking the Scoundrel set to get reduced action cost on free shot, flat out reduced action cost, etc. If you're a bounty hunter that typically runs rifles, you might want to look into running carbines and getting used to running a carbine build. It's a little bit more... the rotation takes a bit more practice, but it's a little bit more manageable in terms of action from what I remember and what I've read. If you're medic, get ready to use reckless stimulation a lot. If you're getting an entertainer buff, get that ACR in there. Make sure you got your officer tax, etc. By the way, these three pools always spawn in the same location. The offense buff spawns on the east side, the defense buff spawns in the middle, and the healing buff spawns on the west side. Another tip I'd give for building for this arena is always build defensively. If you're going to build for damage, favor taking crit, in my opinion. While I don't have any numbers, so this is just like a general... This is like... Yeah, this is what it looks like to me. I don't have any numbers or charts to show you. But the reason I say get crit is because you get so much damage bonus, like base damage increase from the targeting matrix and then the offensive pool. If you just crit more, you're going to be doing like a lot of damage compared to stacking more base damage. So if you're sacrificing stats for some defense stuff or some action cost reduction, do that. Power-ups are a great way of diversifying. So like, for example, you might want to run action cost reduction power-ups depending on the profession you're running and build you're running. Alternatively, you might want to mix up doing glancing blow and crit hit reduction. The reason I bring up crit hit reduction is even though normally that's the stat you stack for PvP, I believe the enemies in here have a higher critical chance than normal. So while those still can deliver punishing blows to you, which you can't do anything to stack against stat-wise, they will also crit. So you can at least fight against that. I usually try and get about 20% crit reduction when I'm making a gear or build for here. You can, of course, go higher, but I don't know. I don't know what their crit odds are. That's just me eyeballing. Which 20% CHR is not a lot. It's not a tall order. You either rock some pups or maybe slap some on your gear if you don't have it on already. Got a nice convenient crate over here. We'll pop that for a heal. It's going to be an elite wave. Let's use the macro binocs. And let's stand on the lieutenant here. This is going to be spicy, but luckily we're near the defensive barricade. Open up those AoEs as soon as possible. Paint target. Now the other guys are here. Crippling Vortex. Be on top of those heal cooldowns. We want to be pumping those heals. I think we're going to want to move into the barricade. I try and save my barricades for as long as... that was too late. All right, there we go. So, as you can see, the barricade takes a few moments to register your presence. So you want to be there earlier rather than later. What happened there was... I was like, I think I could take it, and then I saw the grenades come out, and I'm like, oh, I need to move. But I was not fast enough to pop and scatter and moving over a little bit. I wasn't far from the kid, but... So that was wave 64, which for my first try as a melee officer, that's pretty good. My best is, I think, solo is my smuggler. I think I have to wave like 98 or 99. And that was a score of like 200, like 5,000 or something. If you want to see your score, we're going to have to go back to the underground arena, so let me do that. Okay, we're back in the underground cantina, so we speak with Max again, and we ask for the leaderboards to see the officer one. We can find ourselves in the current week. So the score on the board might not always be your current score depending on update, but right now it is. But if you want to see your current score, you read the top of the box right here where it says your score. We got 92,531. So we're a little bit over 10,000 away from Alarin. I believe if we made it into the 70s, we actually would have surpassed that score. So that's a pretty good, respectable score, especially for our first time. Puts us number 2. We want to get the DNA, but we get some extra gas, and then you get gas for every wave you complete. And after 64 waves, I had 112 unrefined Debana gas, which is not bad. And that is the PvE Holonet Arena. I hope you all give it a try. I think it's a very fun piece of content, especially since you can do a lot of different, like, you try out different builds and group compositions, especially if you get in the, group of 4. You could do memes. Like, some of the highest scoring I've seen for, particularly week in the duos, has been like a duo Jedi build, where they just both run Jedi. So that's fun. But yeah, that is the end of the Rebel story, and that is the Bespin Holonet Arena. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Next time we'll be continuing the 190 series with some other level 90 content. I'm not quite sure what will be next, but it should be a hoot. But thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next part.